The problem of the 20th century is the question of the color line between the lighter and darker races of mankind.
You have heard so much about him, but in a few minutes you're going to hear from him. Y'all and all finna get ready. Listen to me. Listen. I don't want you to hear what I have to say. Participants labeled to be re-educated will be sent to the camps to be brainwashed, re-educated until the government deems them fit for circulation back into society. There's one thing you have to get through your mind and keep it. You are listening to Professor Griff on Sirius Mindz Radio. Nothing that ever came from the European mind was meant to do anything but facilitate European domination of the world.
The show that addresses the complex issues today affecting the human family from the solution think approach that tackles confusing and complex
Peace. What's good, everyone?
Lens, hosted by none other than Professor Griff, the co-founding member of the legendary hip-hop group Public Enemy. This show is real talk that is serious for your mind radio.
That being said, are you freaking out?
Tune in here at Sirius Mindz Radio.
All right, what's good with everyone? Peace, Quan, what's good with you? All right, greetings, family. Tony Floyd, how you feel? GL, what's good? All right, Mr. Hassan Burton, how are you, sir? All right, nice to be back. Black right here on Sirius Mindz. Thanks to everyone. Really appreciate y'all. All right. All right. How's everyone doing? ATL Dez, what's good with you? Robbie Blue, what's good? All right. Let me see. One second. Trying to get things popping off. Not necessarily popping off, but you know.
Not a test. This is an emergency. This is not a test. This is an official emergency announcement from your local broadcast station. A government-issued state of martial law is in effect. You are to stay in your home. All local, national, and international travel is hereby suspended. Any person found on the street
Try and get it together here.
You understand me? I was born black, I live black, and I'm gonna die probably because I'm black. Because some records that long as I'm black, better than you, nigga, is finally gonna put a bullet in the back of my head. Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. You know, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you The hate being what God gave you. There's a lot of powers in dictatorship. You could let 1% of the people have all the nation's wealth. You could help your rich friends get richer by cutting their taxes and bailing them out when they gamble and lose. You could ignore the needs of the poor for healthcare and education. Why you want to do that? Now why you want to do that? So let me introduce to some, reintroduce to others, and allow those of you that are out there to get acquainted with my brother and friend, Brother Professor Griff, as we welcome him. Brother Griff, are you there? Make sure we get him up. So stay tuned, family. Obviously got my brother disconnected. We're going to go to break, come back in, and make sure that we get our brother up so that we have him up with us, because we're not going to have the problems that we had before. So in the meantime, in between time, listen to this message, get my brother up, and we're coming right back in with the professor.
You're listening to Sirius Mindz Radio with your host, Professor Griff of Public Enemy. Sirius Minds for serious times. Seriously.
All right. Peace. What's good with everyone? All right. Willie D said he just got some bad news. Scarface has the coronavirus. Okay. I'm going to check in with Willie D in a minute. In the meantime, between time, it's Professor Griff. Of course, y'all already know that, from the legendary hip hop group Public Enemy, Minister of Information. And y'all know the runnings. I'm happy to be back. It's a beautiful time to be back. All right. It's unfortunate that I had to come back and have these kind of discussions on these terms, but nonetheless, I'm happy to be back. And as y'all know, I wanted to discuss this whole idea of the of this coronavirus thing. But let me just get some bit of business out of the way. I want to thank everyone for just kind of hanging in there. As I went through the Black History 101 Mobile Museum tour, I already let everyone know that I would be gone approximately 3 months, and I'd be coming back right about this time. The last date that we had was actually next week, but since the coronavirus hit, this now pandemic, I was in Missouri, and still holding things down. Was in Missouri, and when we got the news that the schools were closing, we got the news that colleges around us was closing and people was packing up shop. So we started hearing first bit of news that I got, because I had some friends going to South by Southwest, that South by Southwest was not having the event this year. And then I heard colleges were closing. Then schools started closing. Then the NBA shut down. NHL shut down. Those of y'all that watch hockey. Yeah, it's just kind of like it was a snowball effect. And people were shutting it down. So I just said to myself, okay, well, I'm in middle America, Midwest. I said, well, I tried to go to St. Louis. I wanted to go to Kansas City because I was right there in Columbia, Missouri. And if y'all know anything about Missouri, y'all know Columbia, Missouri sits between St. Louis and Kansas City. So I just said to myself, okay, well, let me try that. Go get some culture. Nope. Everywhere we turned around, things were being shut down. So I just said to myself, okay, maybe it's time to pack it up, pack it in. You understand what I'm saying? Get on back home and then kind of reassess things from there. So I came back, and as I was traveling, I'm getting news about the whole hand sanitizing thing. Thank you, great filibuster. Really appreciate you, good brother. As always, man. I started hearing about and seeing people wearing masks, and I'm like, well, like, what's going on? So I'm watching the news, and I just said to myself, even then, early on, something doesn't seem right about this particular thing. When I first heard about this quote unquote coronavirus, it wasn't even called COVID-19 yet. All right. So we was kind of going off of that. And the thing about that was kind of shocking was the fact that they said it was coming out of Wuhan, China. Well, in me keeping up with the talk that I had with you guys here on Sirius Mindz, with what was going on in Wuhan, China, we know that's where they were supposed to do this massive rollout of 5G. Well, we had already discussed that. Did we not? Okay. All right. So I just said to myself, okay, something really, truly doesn't seem right about this now. So I just said to myself, okay, let me just kind of keep some things under wrap and let me just kind of, see what's actually going on. So as it spread, I'm seeing crazy memes going up. I saw the meme where it talked about every election year. Every time there's election, there's a new disease. Okay, sure. Sometimes Duke Smith, what's good with you? Thanks, really appreciate you. I just said to myself, you see memes, and then and sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're not. And I just said to myself, wow, this is absolutely nothing to laugh at. So we need to kind of look at these things and deal with it for what it is. So I started screenshotting things, and because the work schedule I had was very, 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 very hectic. All right. It was so hectic. It was like really, truly hectic. When I say hectic, I mean like hectic for real. So, but here is the meme that I saw. It says every election year has a disease. Tell me how many of y'all saw this. Yes, I did see Cardi B, little coronavirus dance and song that she did. And, a lot of times when we don't understand things and we operate out of fear, sometimes we're funny about it. We want to joke about it because we can't even think in terms of doing what Professor Griff and other people have said years ago about establishing a backpack, that this particular time was coming. I had the class on it, and I was basically letting people know, look, this is about to be on. It's about to happen. So whether it's a national catastrophe or was brought on by chemical and biological warfare, whatever it is, it's about to take place right about now. People didn't believe me. People shrugged it off. People said Professor Griff has this whole fear thing happening. I'm like, nah, don't have the fear thing happening. Not at all. I'm just kind of laying it out how I see it. And it's a very, very real dynamic, man. So as I kind of laid it out, people were leaving comments and that kind of thing. And I was like, okay, I hear you, but that just doesn't answer some of the things that I'm putting out there as far as stocking up on food, stocking up on water, stocking up on some of the things that we're going to need to survive. So it says every election year has a disease. SARS in 2004, the avian flu in 2008, swine flu in 2010, MERS in 2012, Ebola in 2014, and the Zika virus, Ebola in 2014 and 2018, the Zika virus in 2016, and then now with COVID-19, the coronavirus in 2020. Prior to this, 46-1 was bragging about the economy being so great. He said the economy was so great, he said. And this is what the platform that he planned on running on. All right. So I was like, okay. So as we crept towards the momentum building up after the now 20 or so Democrats that fell by the wayside running for the nomination from their particular party for the presidency of the United States. We saw them fall by the wayside to the point where it got to just now, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. And then you all saw what happened with the whole public enemy fiasco, which I'm not going to speak on. We saw what happened with that. People were choosing sides, the Democrats or the Republicans. And we saw how that kind of unfolded. All right. Then the coronavirus hit to the point where they weren't allowing people to go out in crowds. First it was 50. Then I heard it was 25. Then I heard 10. Then I heard we couldn't go out at all. So no one could gather. No one could be everyone had to stay 6 feet away from one another. The bottom fell out of the Donald Trump's campaign because he was running on the fact that the economy was quote unquote doing so great. I just said, oh, okay. That's not working in his favor right now. So back to this idea of this coronavirus. So I pulled up a couple of things that I wanted to kind of go over, and I want y'all to hear, and I wanted to read. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Sun Tzu, from the book The Art of War. All right. We have to understand what was going on the globe prior to what was going on. There was unrest and upheaval in at least 8 to 10 different places on the globe. Riots were going on in the street. Clashes with the police and governments was going on. All right. China, there was 1 million people on the street. Go back and watch some of the YouTube clips that those that are operating on the front line, such as myself, was putting the information out there. 1 million people was on the street fighting the police and the government for change. All right. So this was going on across the country, all right, including America. But the media, the multi-ethnic destruction in America, or the maniac European devils in action, the media wasn't letting the American people see this because it was a media shutout, a media lockdown. They weren't letting you see what was going on in America, because what was going on in China was going on in America. All right. This was very real. I got the call from the Grammys, the Academy, and it basically says, so the whole April 19th celebration of you guys getting the Lifetime Achievement Award is put off to the summer. All right. The rest of the tour that I was on canceled. Major tours were canceled. So here we are now with conflicting information about the coronavirus. All right. So what I was going to do, the first clip that I think I heard, I think it was Dr. Aleem Muhammad. Let me just play the clip that I heard from Dr. Aleem, and then, because maybe you guys heard the same thing. All right. So I'm going to play the clip from Aleem. Then I'm gonna play some other stuff that I kind of heard as I was piecing things together, and I still had questions. All right. So I'll play a few things that I've heard, and then we'll talk about it.
So there's a herpes families. There's a coronavirus family. There's an influenza family of viruses. Okay, coronavirus. Everybody's talking about coronavirus. Well, viruses come in families. So there's a herpes families. There's a coronavirus family.
Can you guys hear that?
There's a family of viruses. And so coronaviruses are generally considered to be animal viruses. When you look a little deeper, you find coronaviruses inhabit parasites that are in the bodies of animals. So therefore, in livestock industries, they have a big coronavirus problem, because you can get things like feedlot fever among cattle, sheep, but especially pigs and other domestic animals that are not necessarily so clean. So that's a big problem. Coronaviruses infect animals. Sometimes you may get a human infection with coronavirus. That's somewhat rare. Some of the common colds that people have had are due to coronaviruses. Generally speaking, they have not proven to be extremely fatal. However, what we're dealing with now, the novel coronavirus, CoVid 20. This is not a natural coronavirus. This is a genetically engineered, weaponized version of coronavirus that has been married to 4 genes from HIV and probably other genes from perhaps other viral pathogens. The short history is Dr. Lieber of Harvard University, the chief biomolecular scientist at Harvard University, dug up some frozen bodies from the tundra in Alaska. This was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, to investigate what killed them during the Spanish flu epidemic. He isolated that virus from 100 years ago and resurrected it, you could say, but found out that because of the frozen conditions over time, the virus had lost its infectivity. You may question, why would somebody dig up a virus that killed over 100 million people and brought an end to World War I? Well, you would have to ask Dr. Lieber that. But he did that, and then when the infectivity was not what he wanted, then he paired it with 4 genes from HIV and perhaps some other things. And now you have a highly contagious coronavirus that is infecting human beings. And not only from animal to human transmission, but now verified cases, human to human transmission through the air. So you could say that this coronavirus 2020 is the descendant of the MERS virus, the Middle Eastern respiratory virus that killed many people in the Middle East, and the SARS virus that I think that goes back to 2003, 2004. That killed many, many people. Now, the SARS virus was the first indication to the Chinese people that someone was out to get them. The SARS virus was genetically engineered to infect Asian people, preferably. And the Chinese realized this. And so since that time, they have actually been on the defensive. Now, the question is whether this latest virus is also a bioweapon engineered to destroy people of Asian descent. And it seems to have another feature. It seems to preferentially infect men as opposed to women. Seems to be much more lethal in men than women. And even though it's considered to be a respiratory virus that causes a respiratory illness, the other interesting factor is that it seems to have a predilection for male testicles. And even in those that recover, the question is, will they be sterilized as after this COVID infection, even if they survive? Bill Gates, along with Dr. Lieber and Johns Hopkins University in October of 2019, conducted a simulation, computer simulation of a coronavirus outbreak, and they determined through computer simulations that such an outbreak would lead to the death of 65 million people. Now, the current experience in China with a 2.3% mortality rate shows that globally we could expect at least 165 million deaths from this virus. So what is it all for? I think it's for the purpose of slowing down the growth of China as a dominant economic, political, and economic power in the world. That is, of course, if it really is a bioweapon. If it's not really a bioweapon, it certainly has taken the U.S.-China trade war to another level. Trade war has become biological warfare, and people are being
all right, let's listen close.
With their lives.
We should be writing some questions down.
Part of the trade war, of course, was the controversy with a company called Huawei, the leaders in 5G technology. The center of 5G technology is China, and the center of 5G technology in China is Wuhan City, or Hubei, in Hubei province. And when they turned on or switched on the most potent 5G network in the world in Wuhan City. That's when the epidemic broke out. So there are scientists who think that there is an electronic component to what would otherwise just be a biological phenomenon. A virus is on the borderline of living things versus non-living things. It is protein wrapped around genetic material, either RNA or DNA. It is susceptible to electronic frequencies. Viruses can be activated by 5G 60 cycle frequency radiation that was turned on in Wuhan City and just coincidentally happened at the same time as a viral outbreak. Could there be a connection? One final point that I think the world should consider. From my point of view as a medical doctor, someone who knows a little bit about public health, I don't think that the Chinese government could be faulted in any way for their response to whatever happened, whether it was a natural phenomenon or whether it turns out to really be a bio attack. But their response to it was heroic and correct. They built 3 1,000-bed hospitals in a little more than a week. Wow. That is phenomenal. They provided hospital care for thousands of people who otherwise would have been left out in the cold to die. Right. And so this is something to ponder. Is the United States capable of the same response, public health-wise? Is Europe capable of the same response? Is Africa, is India, are the other nations, are Brazil and other nations in South America and throughout the world? Is Japan, Korea, are they capable of the same heroic, monumental public health measures undertaken by the Chinese, who seem, optimistically I'm speaking now, they seem to have contained the spread of the virus in China through these drastic means. But suppose you had the same level of infection in New York City or Los Angeles or Chicago or some other major city in Europe, as we now see in Italy and Spain and Germany, cases breaking out. Well, this is the tip of the iceberg. 80-some cases now in Long Island, New York, in Los Angeles, in Texas, and other places. People under quarantine. We don't know how many people are really infected because the CDC has only given a little more than 400 tests total. So if they're reporting 50 or 60 cases, that sounds like a small number, and it is, but you'd only tested 400 people. Right. So how can you be sure about the total number of infections in the country? You can't be. So all precautions must be in order.
Hold on, I'm going to stop that. I'm going to get back to it. So listen. So basically, what he's saying is the information went out, the lie went out before what was actually happening. So they started talking about the numbers, and they didn't even have enough test kits in order to test that many people. So we have to understand. And then they already knew what the public was going to do now that everyone has in their hand a cell phone, and you can put up what you want to put up. Whatever kind of misinformation, lie, not supported by anything, people were putting out things, and I heard something ridiculous like black people can't catch it. Because we have melanin, it only affects white people. I heard all kind of stuff. So I'm just saying to y'all, this was the first bit of information that I got that halfway sounded like it was making some sense. And I started putting the pieces together. I wanted to come on tonight because I wanted to ask questions. All right. And I want us to get some answers. All right. I want to ask some questions. And a lot of people, probably like myself, have a lot of questions that need to be answered. Hold on.
Facial masks are not going too far. Frequent hand washing is not going too far. Avoiding contact with public surfaces is not going too far. Avoiding public gatherings is not going too far. We don't actually know the full characteristics of what we're dealing with, but we must take those things into consideration that we are learning, where these outbreaks are taking place throughout the world. A weak Clorox solution, a cap full of Clorox in a gallon of water, can be used as a disinfectant on surfaces. I use essential oils mixed in water, things like geranium, and other essential oils, eucalyptus, camphor. These essential oils mixed in water, sprayed in a house, will keep germs at bay. These are old-fashioned, traditional methods. I think the public health service in America is so decrepit and disabled that every American citizen should consider you're on your own, and you have to do what you can do to protect yourself and your family. Because I don't think that the government agencies are going to be able. They're not equipped. The hospitals don't have the space to accommodate you. So you're going to have to accommodate. So the question about whether or not this COVID-20 coronavirus is natural or man-made, I think that the fact that it is man-made is beyond question right now. I think the genetic sequences that have been done throughout the world shows that it did not have a natural origin. You can't naturally combine HIV genes with coronavirus genes. That just doesn't happen in nature. However, nature is capable of things that we may not be able to conceive of. So, for example, one of the things that people are becoming aware of are the tremendous number of deaths that take place every year from ordinary influenza.
Right.
In the United States, for example, every year you will have between 30 and 40,000 deaths from regular influenza. And that's considered to be normal. And it could even range higher than that, 60, 70,000 per year, and some years lower than that. So we have good seasons and bad seasons. This is from influenza. Well, where did the influenza virus come from? I'm using this as an example for all viruses. Where did they come from? Well, if you have, as you do in China, a situation where you have population congestion, you have human beings living in close proximity with animals. You have human beings living in close proximity to pigs and ducks,
right,
and chickens. And so the history of influenza is that this is a virus that naturally recombined to produce something that can cause human disease.
All right. That was Dr. Aleem Muhammad. So then, you know, as I'm wrapping up what I was doing with the Black History 101 Mobile Museum in Missouri, coming back to Atlanta, I'm starting hearing, you know, Tom Hanks. And shout out to Brother Rich, Dr. Reverend Phil Valentine, who definitely put it down. And we want to, as myself, my wife, Soleil, the Sirius Mindz family, we're going to offer our condolences to Dr. Melanie, the wife of Dr. Layla Africa, who passed away the other day, onto the ancestral realm. Today, and I want to offer my condolences to Omari Bakshir. His sister passed away from coronavirus. We want to offer our condolences to the family of Credo Mutwa, the shaman, South Africa, passed away. It's taking me a lot to say this, but the family of Chika Okoye, you all know Chika Okoye, the educator. I mentioned his name many times on this broadcast, and as of late, Chika Okoye's mom passed away. I'm not sure if that, I don't think that was the coronavirus, but yeah. So it's very critical. So a lot of times we don't, oh, that was Dr. Aleem Muhammad, Kwan. A lot of times we don't think it's real unless somebody that we know died. And that's a real dynamic. All right. That is something that we as Black people, we got to kind of, you know, get a hold of that. Things are real. All right. So I'm saying to you, you know, Chico Core, friend of mine, beautiful brother. I know Jason, his Fenwick, his family. I know his sister. And it's critical to see people like that and their relatives passing away, especially at this time. Layla Africa, you know that was a devastating blow. And I talked about that on Brother Rich's show the other night. And then my friend Nikki, Omari's sister, who was part of the Black History 101 Mobile Museum, but way beyond that, is a friend of mine. His sister passing away. Then it's like, wow. Now, Idris Elba, is that his name, from England? The actor, Scarface, according to Willie D, and a few other people that we know that are popular in the entertainment industry, have openly admitted. Kevin Durant, I believe. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to play something, and I need you guys to just help me out. Quan, you said Slim Thug? Wow. Okay. Yeah. So one of the questions, based on what Dr. Ali Muhammad just gave us, was how is it that people are still eating meat after witnessing the wet markets in China? After witnessing the wet markets in Chinatown in New York, Chinatown on the West Coast, in other places around the country, how is it now that we still eating pork? How is it now that we still eating cat, rat, and dog? I'm trying to understand this, man. All right. So even if the wet markets didn't produce this particular coronavirus, all right, the whole idea of witnessing the wet markets and how they slaughter animals and this kind of thing, that should let you just know that, look, this ain't even healthy. Tom Hanks, Charles Barkley, Kevin Durant. Who else is on the list? So I'm going to play something else that I need you guys to kind of listen to. And I just said to myself, rather than me coming on and trying to give everybody a whole bunch of dazzling news that may, sound kind of cool, coming back on the airways after a couple of months, I'm not that dude. I'm asking questions because I want answers. Let's take a listen. I don't know who this gentleman is, so y'all help me out.
So, let's talk about what's really going on. Now that the coronavirus is actually affecting my family by shutting schools down and shutting down schools across the nation, something just since the beginning hasn't seemed right with this coronavirus. And now looking at the recommendations on how to kill it, it's a weak-ass virus. Like 80 degrees kills the virus. Like, I haven't really heard of a virus that weak. Just drinking hot water can kill it. Drinking water without ice. Vitamin C can kill it, no problem. Just being in the sun can kill it. Laundry detergent kills it. The second it hits your stomach acid kills it. I'm like, wow, that is like the weakest virus that I've ever seen. And really the symptoms, it can only live on your hands 5 to 10 minutes. On metal, it lasts longer, but it doesn't cause a sneeze, and the survival rate is great among people who are healthy. Only 15% of people have more symptoms. Only 5% of the people will need medical attention. Only 2% death rate in people with compromised immune system. And then I remember my wife telling me there's actually a patent on the coronavirus.
A patent on the coronavirus.
I'm like, that figures, because the drug companies, I wouldn't
Listen
put it past
up.
them. But then I looked a little further, and there is a patent on it. It's patent US 200-625-7852.
Look it up.
A U.S. patent on the coronavirus. And it was applied for, and it's called Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, coronavirus. And that was applied for in 2006. by a company called Chiron. And now I'm not like into conspiracy stuff, but you know, when it starts affecting my family, I want to know what the hell's going on. And so this company Chiron applied for it and was granted this patent on this virus, which was then bought by GlaxoSmithKline, one of the 10 largest pharmaceutical companies in the world, who happens to specialize in vaccines. And so a vaccine usually takes 2 to 2.5 years to get approved because they have to do safety testing and stuff like that. So now I'm looking into maybe there's a coronavirus vaccine. And sure as shit, there's a European patent on a coronavirus vaccine. European patent EP 317231-9B1. That was applied for in 2014. And what do you know? It was just granted in November of 2019. What perfect timing. So now my mind's racing, is like, what the hell is the whole plan here? And now that they're starting to shut schools down, you know, I may just be hypothesizing here, but I'm feeling like they're going to shut down all the schools, and this is a big pharmaceutical play to... All of a sudden, they're going to say, here comes the savior with the vaccine, and they're going to swoop in, and then in order for your kids to be able to go back to school, they're going to have to get this coronavirus vaccine that they just all of a sudden came up with 6 years ago. So... just some food for thought. Do your own research. I wouldn't fall into the hype. You know, people with good immune systems, they got nothing to really worry about. So that doesn't mean to be stupid. Still take precautions, but I would look into it a little bit and spread the word.
Okay. Now there's a patent, pardon me, for the coronavirus. All right. So I tried to stay away from this whole idea of this whole conspiracy theory kind of point of reference that I kind of normally approach things from. And I just said to myself, how can an antenna not and a red flag not go up when you hear stuff like this, when you start and begin to do the research? All right. So let me just read a few things to you. So now, I started getting information. I remember saying to Soleil, so everybody got the same damn cousin that worked for the Pentagon and the State Department and the Department of Defense and, you know, work for the government. So I got the same email or text message that y'all got. They're gonna shut down the major cities. So everybody started going to Home Depot and getting masks and Ace Hardware and Lowe's and getting gloves. So you couldn't find them anymore. People looted the almost damn near looted the grocery stores and bought up all the toilet tissue. Walked right past all of the herbs and the vitamins that can keep you well and help you fight the virus. You walk right past that, right past the black elderberry, right past the black seed oil, right past the vitamin C, the camu or the mega C. You walk right past all this stuff to go get some toilet tissue. People were getting beat up at Costco's and BJ's and Sam's Club and stabbed over some damn toilet tissue. All right. This uncontrolled kind of hysteria drove everyone because they said we're going to be quarantined. First it was an epidemic, and then they said it was a pandemic. They said it was a pandemic so they can get the money from the federal government in order to do what they need to do. All right, I'm gonna give you what I think is the end game in a minute. But so now that everyone is on 10, amped up, long lines at Costco's and all these other places to get toilet tissue. I'm seeing people fighting online and on TV and all this other kind of stuff going on. And I said to myself, wow. So this is what martial law is going to look like. This is the thing that they're going to use to set this martial law thing up in order to quarantine people to your homes. Did I not tell you, and I'm not one to say I told you so, but did I not tell you they were going to confine us to our zip codes? Now, I can't mention the person's name, and I don't want y'all to speculate who I'm talking about. The gentleman called me today. I can't mention his name. He said, listen, this is what they're about to do. This ain't that same country cousin that y'all got that worked for the government. This is a friend of mine. He was like, look, they gave us a letter. And the letter, in fact, stated, you must keep this letter with you at all times, coming to and from work. So I asked him why. He says, simply because if you're pulled over by the police, you have to present this letter. Well, what did the letter say? He says, Griff, I'm going to make a copy of it and I'm going to send it to you. Now, I can't go into details what the letter states, but in essence, the letter states that they have been tested, B, that he works for whoever he works for. We can't mention that. And the police need to see the letter because this is the only way they're allowing people out. All right. Now, you've heard that they're letting people out of your homes and out of this quarantine kind of mind state and frame of mind only for the essentials. Well, what are the essentials? The essentials for my grandmother may not be your essentials. Essentials meaning what? Car companies are going to stay open. Rental cars, I guess. Banks. People that supply food. Hospitals. Come on now. Help me out. Basically, that's it. Just, food, clothing, shelter places. So I started thinking, what are all the homeless people going to do? What about the people that are already in the hospital that's sick? All right. Supermarkets are going to stay open. Pharmaceutical companies are going to stay. Places are going to stay open because you got to get the medicine. All right. So then I'm listening and I'm listening. It's like, wow. This is really, really, really critical. And it's actually happening in our lifetime. All right. This whole idea of what martial law going to look like. So I got another call from another friend of mine. Now, these are people that I speak to every week. They sent me pictures. Professor Griff, in such and such and such and such and such and such place in Georgia, black helicopters at night, because everyone is forced to stay in after 9 o'clock, they are spraying chemicals to disinfect certain neighborhoods. Did y'all guys hear this? They're spraying certain chemicals to disinfect certain neighborhoods. And he sent me pictures of what they were spraying. I was like, wow, okay. Brothers and sisters, family, the masks that you're getting from Home Depot and Ace Hardware and all of these places is not going to work, man. That same country cousin that y'all got the letter from the government that sent y'all that letter talking about the masks and all that, there is a model number that's on the mask that you need that can prevent certain viruses that are airborne to get through to your nasal passages and to your esophagus, all right, to affect your lungs. The N95 or N99 mask, thank you. Now, that's not the mask that they have at, at Ace Hardware or Lowe's. Where do you get those masks from? Is the question we need to ask. And that needs to be the information that some of these Instagram model chicks need to be passing around instead of continuing to go on with the madness. This is the information that those that are on the front line that we need to pass on to one another. We need to create a digital infrastructure online. So when this information comes out, we need to get it out as soon as possible. All right. The 3M is the manufacturer of the N95, N99 mask. Where can you get the masks from? All right. Now, I've seen people doing all kind of stuff. One brother has his T-shirt pulled over his face. One brother came out with his the mask that he used to spray paint because he had graffiti artists over his face. Somebody had a box of cereal on their head walking down the street. All kind of stuff was going on. See, this is when people act in fear. All right? And they don't prepare. Now, why would you trust any of this information coming from any of these people that have a history of putting viruses among the people? If governments and the people and people experimenting on the people, yeah, a box of damn cereal. Seriously, I wouldn't lie to you. Anything they can get their hand on. I seen a meme that said, "The hell with toilet tissue. I'm just gonna buy me some diapers." You can go to 8 stores. Someone said, whispered in my ear and said, "Yo, go to the hood and go to the Family Dollar store or go to Dollar General. They got wipes, they got tissue, all kind of stuff." Because the people don't go, people don't go in the hood. Sure enough, I found some toilet tissue in the hood. All right. Now, a government that will put out SARS, avian flu, swine flu, MERS, Ebola, Zika, and now coronavirus. Is there any connection between the national elections and the international pandemics? Come ask that question again. It's a question I have. Is there any connection between the national elections and the international pandemic? Is the question that I have. All right. Where is America getting the $2 trillion that it has on deck right now, trying to pay out every American citizen, putting money in your hands? Well, hell, how come they didn't do this prior to the pandemic? People are starving and sleeping in the street, going without food. Tupac was right, man. There's enough abandoned buildings, man, to put the homeless up if we really cared about people. If your time is short, most of these diseases were discovered and spread before election year and were minimally mentioned during campaign. Why? Why? If these viruses that I just mentioned was barely mentioned during these campaigns and these elections, the question is, why? What is the role of the media? And then more importantly, what is the role of the black media to report to us so that we'll know? It says SARS, avian flu, and MERS had virtually no effect on the United States during election years. Then why were you pushing it so hard? Why? One exception, Ebola was a significant campaign issue in 2014. See the sources for the fact checks. You guys can go to PolitiFact, PolitiFact. All right, PolitiFact. PolitiFact.com. Quan, can you put that in? PolitiFact. PolitiFact.com. So let's get to some of the end games because we don't have a lot of time. They want this to be a cashless society, and this is what they're moving towards. And I've already said that. Everyone's going to have to take the chip. No money is going to exchange hands except for the digital dollar. All right. Number 2, forced vaccinations. Not only in the schools, your job, wherever you work, purchases at major companies for major things. All right. Any medical treatment, you got to have the chip. You got to get vaccinated. Any children going to school, you got to get vaccinated. Right now, at the same time, is it ironic that the census is going on right now where everybody's stuck in the house and they want you to fill out a form online, or the census people are going to come to your door? Come on, man. You know how many UPS packages I've received over the last couple of weeks? UPS people ain't wearing no damn mask, no gloves, no nothing. You know how many packages they handle? I'm just getting conflicting information. All right. I got a few more other things to read before we close out. I had some deeper information to read about each one of those viruses, but we don't have a lot of time. So like the email and text messages that you guys were getting, I was getting the same thing. All right. I went on Brother Richard's show the other night, mainly because what happened to the Dr. Leola Africa, him passing away, kind of took me by surprise. And this information I had, but I just couldn't get it out there. Then I sat and I listened to Dr. Reverend Phil Valentine. I said, oh, there it is. He laid it out. Go to Brother Richard's channel, Black Magic 363, and listen to Dr. Reverend Phil Valentine lay it out. A couple of hours worth. And he goes as deep as you want to go. All right. Anyway, more helpful info from Northwestern doctors, and I'm sure you guys receive the same thing. The Chinese now understand the behavior of the COVID-19 virus. Through autopsies, they have learned that the virus is characterized by thick mucus obstructing the respiratory pathways that solidifies and blocks airways and lungs. In order to apply medicine for the treatment to work, you need to open up the airways. What are those herbs that open up the airways? Now, let's not be fooled. A lot of people you're going to see sneezing and coughing in the state of Georgia and a few other places because of the high pollen count. Now, you can't even sneeze. If you sneeze in public, yeah, people are running away from you thinking you got the virus. Thank you, Quan. That's what I want to know. I want to know if the virus can mutate. All right? I'm on a plane. Thank you. You echinacea, but you can't take it every day. All right? That's one. We need to put the information out, the cayenne pepper, peppermint, ginger. All right. I'm on a plane coming back, a small plane at that. And this white girl was caught turmeric, elderberry. This white girl was coughing in her elbow. And I just said to myself, man, I took everything I had. I'm wrapping it around myself. And I'm like, this is not good. Black seed. No, 505 Booker. Weed is not good. Somebody said weed. Spirulina, sea moss, colloidal silver. I'm not sure the mullein leaf, but school me on the mullein leaf. Okay. No, weed is not going to take care of this one. Weed can take care of a few things, but not this one. Not antibiotics, but probiotics, someone said. Okay. What does slippery elm do? Moringa, of course. Comfrey, and you got to have zinc, echinacea, and vitamin C. Hibiscus for the immune system. Got to have zinc. Garlic. All right. And with all of the things I mentioned, stay the fuck away from negative people. I'm just throwing that one in there. All right? Anyway, in order to apply medicine for the treatment to work, you need to open up the passageways. That can take several days. Hence, why those with underlying respiratory medical conditions and elders are at high risk of complications. Recommendation to safeguard yourself: drink lots of hot fluids, coffee, tea, soups, warm water. 2, take a sip of warm water every 20 minutes. This keeps your mouth moist and washes any viruses that are entered into the mouth and pushes it through to the stomach, where the gastric juices will neutralize it before it can get to the lungs. 3, gargle with antiseptic in warm water such as salt, vinegar, or lemon juice every day if possible. 4, the virus attaches itself to the hair and clothes. Any detergent or soap kills it. Take a shower immediately when it comes from outside and shampoo your hair. All right. Apple cider vinegar. You can get you a big jar for $1. Wash your hair with the apple cider vinegar. All right. Put some in your mouth, swish it around, spit it out. My wife says she's going to make some stuff where you can put inside the rim of your nose to breathe in. All right. Of course, soursop works. All right. Wash metallic surfaces, and the virus can remain viable on the surfaces for up to 9 days. When not in your home, wear gloves if possible to avoid touching handrails, doorknobs, stripper poles. If you can't wear gloves, or don't have any, wash your hands immediately and then shower. Then 6, regardless if you are going outside, wash your hands every 20 minutes with soap that foams. The soap got to foam up. All right. And do it for 20 seconds. 7, eat fruits and vegetables. Try to elevate your zinc levels. All right. 8, animals do not spread the virus to people. It's a person-to-person transmission. 9, try to avoid eating, drinking too many cold things. Okay. 10, if you feel sore throat coming on, gargle with antiseptic immediately. Okay. Do it every hour. The virus enters through the throat, where it remains for 3 or 4 days before it passes through to the lungs. If you feel anything in the throat, all right, gargle. All right, get you some mouthwash, gargle, spit it out. Then get you some warm water. And like this says, sip warm water every 20 minutes. It keeps the mouth moist and washes any viruses down. All right, get you some zinc. All right, I'm not sure what I have with me, but I showed y'all when I was, where was I at? I was in Missouri. I was telling the class for the alternative black studies. All right, this is the what's the hand sanitizer I had. I know some people that's making hand sanitizer, so if you guys need some, let me know. All right, this is the hand sanitizer that I use. If you go to places and you're running out of toilet tissue, get you some wipes. The same wipes that you wipe the baby's butt with, you can use on yours. All right. You're right, Johnny Taylor. Apple cider vinegar knocks out sore throats. All right. Brad's apple cider vinegar. Right. We got to pass this information around to one another because we're responsible for one another. Last not least, this is for population control. All right. You got to take the chip. You got to get vaccinated. This is the end game. Population control. And I'm telling y'all right now, this is the test run, man. This is the test run for something greater. All right. This is the test run for the digital dollar. This is the test run to see how well the Bitcoin and the rest of these things work. I'm telling you. It's a lot bigger than what we're viewing it. We're only viewing it through a narrow lens right now simply because we're worried about our health. While at the same time, people are hanging around us. All right, let's be mindful. Let's take care of the elderly. Let's take care of those elders that are around us. All right, let's stay healthy. All right, if you can, for the next 2 months, stay away from dairy products and stay away from meat. I don't see how y'all eating meat any of your way. All right. If y'all saw some of these wet markets, you wouldn't be eating meat. If you can do it. All right. You have to exercise and you got to get fresh air every single day. Aloe vera and rubbing alcohol makes hand sanitizer. Thank you, Michael. All right. All right. All right. So right now, that's part 1 of what I have to offer in reference to just giving a general view, some solutions, asking some questions, and trying to get some answers. All right. If you want to donate to the cause, my cash app is $ Professor Griff. Please donate to independent media that's giving this kind of information out. Go support Dr. Reverend Phil Valentine and Brother Rich's channel and everyone else that's on the front lines giving information out. That's $ Professor Griff for the cash app. And of course, PayPal. You can go right to my PayPal account. Of course, you can go to my website, www.professorgriff.me. Thank you very much, Quan. Really appreciate that. That's paypal.me/Professor Griff Corp. All right. Get the information out to our people. If you know someone that's making these products at home and they need to get them sold online, tell them to contact me because our people need these remedies, need these formulas. All right, Johnny Taylor, thank you very much, good brother. Really appreciate you, man. All right. Stay away from ibuprofen, someone said. I heard that 5 times already within the last couple of weeks. All right. Someone said stay away from ibuprofen. I need to get some more information on that. All right. If someone is presenting some information, look at it 5 times. All right. All right. That's my hour. I love y'all to life. I'll be on in the next couple of days to give an update. Probably every other day to give an update on what's going on. All right. As I get the information. If you have any information, send it to me either to my phone, 678-557-2919, or email me, seriousmindinfo@gmail.com. Or just stick it on my Facebook page, or just hit me up on IG, my DM, shoot it to me, get me the information. All right. You can put it, and it's safer on Sirius Mindz IG, on IG, Sirius Mindz channel on IG, page on IG. All right. My phone number is 678-557-2919. Once again, support the cause. All right. My cash app is $ Professor Griff. I love y'all to life. Y'all that's are in the Alternative Black Studies course, the class is tomorrow. The meeting is tomorrow. All right. If you want to join the Alternative Black Studies course, hit me up at 678-557-2919. If any of the sisters want to take Soleil's class, hit her up on IG at Miss Soleil on IG. All right. All right. Let's look out for one another. I love y'all to life. This is Professor Griff, Sirius Mindz for Sirius Mindz. Seriously, I love y'all to life, man. Peace. Peace, Alex. Peace, Quan. Peace, Hassan. Johnny Taylor. Great filibuster. Thanks, everyone from the Sirius Mindz family. Love y'all to life. Thanks for helping me get this information out there. Really appreciate y'all guys, for real. Brandon, Double B, I got you. All right. All the people that's out there, Dion Carnes, everyone that's out there that's been up here giving out the necessary information that we're going to need. All right. Each one teach 3. Remember that. Each one teach 3. Robbie Blue, shout out, man. Give thanks to everyone that's part of the Sirius Mindz family. Ebony Eyes, Zaire. All right. Thanks to everyone that gave donations thus far. Really appreciate you guys. All right. Really appreciate everyone. I was trying to find some of the brothers and sisters' names. Robert E. Brown, thanks for the donation on Cash App. Christian Temple, thank you very much for the donation on Cash App. Kayamati Arnold. Why does that name sound familiar? Don't I know you? But thanks for the donation. Deuce Smith. All right. Was it Ducci or Deuce Smith? Thank you very much for the Leroy. Brother Leroy. Thank you, Brother Leroy. Man, Jeanette McGee. All right. Sherrod Banks. Thank you very much. Brother Richard Muhammad. Rashad the God. Monica Youngblood. Thank you very much. Brandell Bowen. Thank you very much. All right. Opio, my man Opio. All right. Thank you, Opio. Really appreciate you. Kathy Lakowitz. I hope that's your name. I hope I didn't jack your name up. Kathy, thank you very much, Kathy. Really appreciate you. Des Robinson, thank you very much, man. All right, shout out to everybody. I love y'all to life, man. This is Professor Griff. All right. Paulette Bailey, thank you very much for checking in. Really appreciate you. All right. All right, love y'all to life. I got to get out of here. See y'all in a few days. Peace.